Hello, this is Budaron back here with the second clip in my series. In the last clip I showed you how to move your hands. This clip I'm going to show you how to move around in 3D space, 8 directions with rotation. The thing that I want you to remember is the concept of leading with the breath. That is, being conscious of your breathing the whole time and using your intention to guide the breath, and the breathing to guide the movement of the body. So when we want to move around in 3D space, we want to have good structure. Most people, when they stand like this, with knees locked, the butt out, with a sway in the lumbar curve, and people walk around like that too, very stiff. And even when they jog often very hard, and every impact of the legs injures the ligaments of the knees. In systemic movement, we pivot the hip a little bit forward. In Qigong, it's called dropping the hip, so that your tailbone comes a little bit more under. When you pivot your hip forward like that, your knees bends a little bit automatically. And this opens up the hip and frees up your movement. So when we move around, we want to move naturally. We want to have a straight spine, hip forward, and knees a little bit bent. So the first thing we're going to practice is just to take a few steps. Always having the knees a little bit bent, you see. And remember to guide with the breath. I'm talking here, so it's difficult for me to do it, but back and forward like this. That's easy enough. Sideways movements. It's much easier when you pivot the hip and bend the legs a little bit. Now we can start in a moving around all 8 directions in a clockwise direction. Move slowly at first. See how you can move freely in all 8 directions, with the front to one side all the time. Move a little bit more away here so you can see. And then the other way. You should practice this slowly with your breath. Your attention on your breath and your attention on moving fluidly and relaxed. Keeping good structure, keeping the hip a little bit forward, keeping the knees bent. And when you're able to move around like this freely, you can start with clockwise rotation while you're moving clockwise. can turn, you can rotate fairly quickly. Or more slowly. The other way. Counterclockwise circle, counterclockwise rotation. You see, if I didn't pivot my hip a little bit forward here and bend my knees, it would be very difficult for me to open up the hip and rotate like this. This is just for you to teach yourself, teach your body how to move naturally in all 8 directions and with the rotation. So now I'll move clockwise with a counterclockwise rotation. Do it a little bit differently. You can watch this clip over and over again, so I will now go counterclockwise, circle, clockwise rotation. Remember to continuously breathe in and out, in through the nose, out through the mouth, or in and out through the nose. You can experiment by yourself. So when you've mastered these 4, clockwise, clockwise circle, counterclockwise circle with clockwise and counterclockwise rotation, then you've basically freed up your movement. You're able to move all 8 directions with or without rotation. So then you can start practicing around in your environment. You can practice walking backwards in your hallway towards your door, walking sideways with rotation, like this. If I wanted to come and do something on the phone here, I could walk backwards and sideways, and then I could squat down naturally like this. So if you move like that, you can also practice how much you bend down while you're moving. If you want to increase the strength on the tendons in your legs, you move around like this, and you sometimes increase how much you bend the legs. You can go all the way down here. Move slowly. Be careful that you keep good structure so that you don't injure your knees. If you relax, this is all the way down is fairly straightforward and easy. If you can relax and let your structure help you. Experiment slowly. Don't rush it, and don't put too much tension in your knees. It's like fairly common to put a lot of tension, extra tension in your knees, in your muscles, in your legs. So try to be as relaxed as possible, and just let the structure help you. If you really want to work the knees, work the legs and get a good workout and strengthen the tendons and the muscles, then you can work here at 45, half bent. You might have to breathe a little bit extra. Don't breathe too little and don't breathe too much. Experiment with taking just enough air. Always letting the air guide your movements. Now, from the last clip, you learn how to use your hands in figure eight motion. If you use this together with this kind of movement in space, you're already starting to train some cool martial concepts. This is very efficient in mass attacks. You can, when you move around, you can imagine that there are adversaries around. You always keep your eyesight level with the horizon, and you try to see everything at the same time. You use peripheral vision, as it is called. See everything at the same time, so that just by doing like this, you can see everything around you. So I'm going to show a little bit with arms. You move around like this and you relax your arms completely. And then when you rotate, your arms kind of naturally swing like this. Now in Systema, we don't use muscular tension to hit hard. We use the mass of the arm. We let the mass fall into your opponent. So just your natural movement like this can put your mass into motion, and then your arm kind of just falls in like this. You can keep it open first, and on impact you close it. When you close the radius of the hand, the mass concentrates and it speeds up the motion of the limb. If you try to hit your arm like relaxed, you can feel how it's deep. It's like hitting with a hammer. You don't hit with all your strength when you hit with the hammer. You just let the mass of the arm fall in to go through the hammer and into the nail. That's how we punch in Systema too. So we can punch fairly deep from a crouching position, from a squatting position, or from anywhere we like. We practice this, swinging your arms naturally like this, while moving sideways, backwards, with and without rotation. And then you can combine it with the figure eights from the last clip. So we have forward figure eights leading with the thumb, or backwards figure eights leading with the little finger. And then you can feel, if you start moving around like this, you can generate a lot of power without using any extra force. And of course, it could be a hit with the fist, palm, elbow. It could be anything like that. You know, when your arms are swinging around like this, force is mass times speed. So if this part here is about the same weight as a sledgehammer, so if that one comes backwards like that and hits someone, it's going to be the same force as a sledgehammer. Unless you use tension, because then half the force is going up through the arm, up in the neck, and up into your cranium. And then half the force is going up into you and injuring yourself. But if you relax and let just the mass of the arm fall in like that, you can hit all these different ways. You can hit with the back fist, hammer fist. You can hit with this one. Even with the leopard paw, you can hit with open hand. You can even scratch. There are so many different things you can do. The trick is, in Systema we don't use so many techniques. We use natural movement like that, relaxed movement, and then maybe we speed up the limbs a little bit, or we close the hand just with the hit. But the most important thing is to use the breathing. Breathing and the principles of movement, and then you experiment by yourself. If you have a partner, you can do this together, and then you can also try to hit each other a little bit. But be very careful in the beginning, just barely. Be very careful with the energy. Be very careful with your partner. If I can find any students, I will make some videos about hitting each other and giving energy and taking energy. But there are many great clips about this on the internet. If you just YouTube Sibirsky Viyun or Systema, Vladimir Vasilyev, Mikhail Ryabko, there are many good clips about this. So what I want to do is I just want to show you some basics so that you can start exploring how to move your own body, how to increase the strength of your body, how to increase the flexibility and the sensitivity, the motor skills, and most importantly, how to lead with the breath. Your intention is on the breath, and the breath guides the movement. So if I want to rise up now, I breathe in through the nose. If I want to go down, relaxed, I breathe out. Okay, that's already a lot of information. So practice moving around in 3D space. Om Namo Buddhaya.